When we talk about damage amplification, the best ones are either it being a separate multiplier, a separate hit, or even something that is coined as damage vulnerability. Damage vulnerability is a separate multiplier on their own, except Petrify with Rest and Rage. Such multiplier is multiplicative to each other, and this includes Viral, which is the most well-known source of damage vulnerability to health. Lots of well-known sources like Rest and Rage, Sea Snares, etc., but they tend to be only for a few targets or short in effect radius, with the only exception being Caliban's subsumable to Harmonious, Sentient Wrath. Despite being the lowest percent of all damage vulnerabilities, it has the best effective radius of all, capable of hitting almost anything around 22 meters of you. Its wave has an assumed travel time of 10 meters per second. Oh man, this shit was so slow. Oh. Deals 1000 impact damage and causes enemy to be lifted. And that's where the problem comes. Lifted when mass applied. Lifted is a very aggressive status that allows crowd control, capable of cancelling majority of CCs, but it is easily cancelable by just inflicting almost all kinds of damage to them, and they will be free from lifted and starts to get up. But the problematic nature of Sentient Wrath was never known. Stories may be the paper, but truth is the fire. Shining apples that comes with price. Who will be there enough to peel that mask off? Lifted disables beams from any chaining unless free from lifted. Punch through will work, but chaining won't. Radio hits cancels lifted way slower than others, and certain radio damage ceases to function, notably Nightwatch Napalm. Enemies affected by lifted has a tendency to float far away from you if you did not break them free from lifted status quick. Imagine using Torrid Incarnate with this. Like bro, there are so much hidden problems with lifted as a status being mass applied. At least Caliban can easily cancel it with his 4, but the others not so much. If there is only a way to counter that. For him, it was not a big deal. How would you toy with your enemies if you get the chance? Would you like them to suffer? Piercing Roll has a 25 meter range effect that applies 5 puncture status within the stated range that has a base 10 second status duration that allows ability duration scaling. Don't want to spend time explaining it further, but why is it important? Typically, you don't have a way to fully solve the problems of Sentient Wrath as it is 22 meters, but the final piece that perfects the cycle was nothing but a simple cast of an ability. But why is it harmonious? Why would you call it a song if there is no sound to be designed? Why would you call it a song if... Who said my enemies needs to hear them? And once again, would you like them to suffer? Or you want to let them fight back a little for your enjoyment, to ease their hopelessness and despair, raining those false hopes into their washed mind. Maybe the good old-fashioned way suits your taste the most. Who knows? Sky is the limit, and shall your voiceless song be heard, striking invisible chords for the harmonical masterpiece that is Sentient Wrath Rhino. Professor Distill once stated that Caliban's design is inherently boring, but it makes him very adaptable to a lot of things. A simple canvas that allows creativity, experimentation, and flex of his versatility.
And giving Caliban other Helmut abilities drastically changes his playstyle because he adapts to the playstyle of that warframe very slightly. The fact that his second, third, and fourth abilities are mundane, when you throw something unique into the mix, the abilities suddenly start doing a lot better.
Does this remind you of someone who is sitting right in front of you? Rhino is an inherently simplistic but full of depth kind of frame, the very first who inherits such design philosophy. And when two types of mundane clashes together, everything is reversed and one of its kind. An overall kit of peak simplicity that inversely forms its own kind of fun, irreplicable by others except you. Weapons-wise, instead of being forced into beam-type weapons, now you are allowed to use anything you like. Pick whatever you feel like it. For a Sentient Wrath Rhino build, strength and range is the main component. Duration and efficiency comes second. Make sure to get yourself an equilibrium and adding a pet like Death Cube Prime that can consistently provide great energy economy for you. The arcanes are usual, it is really just up to your imagination. Feel free to make the build for yourself and just focus on what stat comes first and what comes second. Madurite is used for casting speed and more strength as usual. If you want more strength, Crimson Shards are welcome, though getting a baseline of 37.5% casting speed shot is extremely valuable as well. So does Energy Start. The rest is really up to you. Guess I will probably just leave you the showcase. Good luck. There is a time where the song will eventually end, with the Caliban rework drawing closer and closer. This is served to be a memory that can be treasured in case of the ability gets changed into something completely different, but I digress. Hope you all enjoyed this one. Goodbye.